Hi guys, it's Amber from Amber Eats Books, and I'm here today to bring you a bookshelf tour. I recently got a couple of new shelves and I finally got them all set up. So let's jump into it. So these are the current shelves that you all know and love, but I have rearranged my books because I have recently got two other shelves. So I took all of my Stephen King that were on these shelves and moved them to their own separate shelf, and then I also took all of my read books except for just a couple and moved them all to another shelf as well. Let's move in for a closer look. So we'll start at the top. Up here on my top shelf, I keep mostly my children and middle grade books. There's a few peppered throughout the rest of my shelves, but for the most part I keep them up here. I have my little Disney bookends, which I absolutely adore, and these little pins. This one says Eat, Sleep, Read. I have quite a collection of children's classic kind of books. I am hoping to make my way through a majority of them this year. I have this little pin, which is adorable. It's a Pusheen reading a book. I had to have that one. And my sign that says reading gives us someplace to go when we have to stay where we are. And then on this end, I have my mini bookend with a couple little snowmen things, and it says love books on that pin. In the top left corner, I have a little Winnie the Pooh corner. I adore these little snow globes, and I found these bookends at Goodwill for very cheap, so I thought I would put them together with my Winnie the Pooh treasury, and it makes a cute little shelf. On my next shelf are books by authors that I have like more than one of. So I have some Frederick Bachmans, a couple of Anita Shreves, some Chuck Palahniuks, and some Jodi Picoults. Jodi Picoult and I have a love-hate relationship. I've loved some of her books, but I've really disliked some other ones. So they've been sitting on my shelf for quite a while. Hopefully I'll get to them sometime this year so I can either clear them off or move them to my red shelf. The next shelf down, I have some fiction books. I did try to separate my books this time. I have a fiction section, a non-fiction section, and then I also have a YA section. So it'll keep me a little bit more organized, but I have quite a few on the shelf. I am looking forward to reading so many of these. One thing I try to do this go round when doing my books is to showcase some of the books, some of the front covers of them, because I think they're absolutely gorgeous. Meg Wolitzer's The Interestings just has a wonderful color pattern, so I wanted everyone to be able to see that when they walked in. I'm so excited to read especially this Alison Weir book, The Lady Elizabeth. I'm buddy reading the Arenda next month with Jessie from Jessie's Shelf. Just a great array of books that I can't wait to get to. On the bottom shelf, I have some of my hardcovers. Life After Life and Tell the Wolves I'm Home are two books that I have been dying to read for the longest time. I just never seem to get to them, but at least now they're showcased and they're kind of staring at me, so maybe I will actually pick them up this year. Tell the Wolves I'm Home is probably my favorite cover of all the covers that I have on my shelf. It just really speaks to me. I think it's gorgeous. Now we'll move into the middle section. This is my Harry Potter shelf. I recently acquired the illustrated versions of The Chamber of Secrets and The Prisoner of Azkaban, so I have put them up here on the shelf so everyone can look at them and see how gorgeous they are. As I acquire more of these illustrated editions, of course, the shelf will look a little different because I won't be able to spread them out quite so much, but for right now, I absolutely love it. The next shelf down is probably my newest favorite shelf because this is my monthly TBR shelf. These are all the books that either I get from the library or that I've chosen off of my shelves that I would like to get to in the next month. I also have some lovely craft things that my youngest daughter Brooke has made for me displayed on this shelf, so it has a little soft spot in my heart. And then I have a little cup over there with my bookmarks in it. The next shelf down is my unread YA section. I don't have too many books, so I'm hoping to be able to get the majority of these read this year. I especially want to get to Truth Witch. That one's been high on my priority list. I also have two little Pop Funkos on this shelf. I have Arrow and Star-Lord. Star-Lord's actually a bobblehead, and I just think he's so cute. The next shelf down is some more of my fiction that is unread. I wanted to showcase The Radiance of Tomorrow. I think that color is just so bright and beautiful, especially on these red shelves. I wanted everyone to see it. I'm excited to read quite a few of these books, especially A Little Life and What She Knew. And The Gingerbread House has just piqued my interest. I don't know if it'll be any good, but I bought it with the intent of reading it in December and I just never did, but it's a thriller. So I am excited to get to that. The bottom shelf is some more of my fiction books, hardcover ones that I have not gotten to yet. I'm really excited to read The Signature of All Things. I think it is a stunning book, and the bees cover is really cool too, so I decided to showcase those. Moving on to the last section. This shelf is one of my favorite shelves. I adore Tinkerbell, so I decided to make a little Tinkerbell section. I have a Pop Funko, an Itty Bitty, a Jim Shore, a mug, and a book as well. Over here, I have some more of my fairy tale type books. I have Alice in Wonderland. I love to collect all different kinds of Alice in Wonderland, whether it's paraphernalia or just retellings. So the ones that I have read and enjoyed are over here. And I also have down at the bottom Lost Boy, which is the true story of Captain Hook. So that kind of goes along with the Tinkerbell theme over there. The next shelf down is just kind of a hodgepodge of things. I have mostly nonfiction to the left here, and then to the right I decided to showcase two books that I'm really eager to get to this year, and that's Home Fire and Little Fires Everywhere. Home Fire's cover is just one of my all-time favorite covers, so I wanted to showcase it for other people that come into my house. They can see it and look at it and admire it just as much as I do. This next shelf is one that holds my classics. I don't have too many because I'm not a huge fan of classics. I have read a couple more this past year that I've enjoyed, so I'm hoping to read a few more of these and really get into it and see if I like any of them. The next shelf down is more non-fiction books. Like I said, I tried to keep them separated as much as possible. This one holds Kitty Cornered, which is a book that I will be buddy reading with Elizabeth from Lizzie Faye Loves Books next month. I'm so excited to read it. It just looks like such a cute book. But there's many of these books that I've really wanted to get to for quite a while, like The Glass Castle, and definitely Running with Scissors is one that I've heard a lot of people talk about that I had wanted to read. So we'll see. And lastly, these are my non-fiction hardcover books. I cannot wait to dive into them this year. I've read more nonfiction last year than any other year, and I hope to continue that trend in 2018. This is one of the new shelves that I got. They're sitting on either side of my slider door that goes out to my back deck. And this one is my Stephen King shelf. Up at the top, I have my sign that I absolutely love that my children gave me. It's "Life is short, eat the bacon." This first shelf houses all of my Dark Tower books. I really want to get the brand new set that's out, the one that's all the same size, larger paperbacks with the multiple colors. But until I do, these ones will hold the place for them. I got most of these at thrift stores, so they're kind of mismatched and hodgepodge, but that's okay. I absolutely love them, and I'm trying to set myself a goal of reading the last 4 for the second half of the next shelf is all of the mass market paperback sizes that I still own of Stephen King. I'm trying to replace them slowly but surely as I find them either at thrift stores or if I decide to order them as I read the book. But I don't have too many left. The majority of my Stephen King used to be all mass market paperback, and I'm really getting down to a very small number, so I'm excited about that. This shelf is just some more of them. I absolutely adore these ones right here. I love these types of paperbacks. I really love Pet Sematary. That's one of my favorites. But I also have some hardcovers. I have Sleeping Beauties, which I never got to last year, so hoping to get to it this year. This shelf is more just of my hardcovers. And then the bottom shelf is more hardcovers. I have the Mr. Mercedes series and Desperation and just a few other books. Under the Dome, which was one of my favorites. So love this shelf, love these books. And finally, we are getting to my last shelf. Now, these are all of my read books that I have decided to go ahead and keep. Starting with the top, these are just some cute little snowman decorations that my mother-in-law gave me. I really think they're super cute, and I love to look at them from across the room. The next shelf is my red YA section. These are all the books that I really enjoyed, with the exception of Turtles All the Way Down. It wasn't my favorite, but it is a signed edition, so I decided to go ahead and keep it. I have also a couple of my series that I love, which is The Diviners and An Ember in the Ashes. Both of these series have had cover changes, which really annoys me, but what can you do? But anyway, yep, these are all the books that I have read and loved, and I'm hoping to fill the shelf with some more this year. Next shelf is one of my favorites. I love the snowman decorations on this shelf, and also the "Go Away, I'm Reading" sign is just exactly how I'm feeling almost every single day. But along with those are my nonfiction books that I've read and enjoyed and decided to keep. Is some fiction books that I liked and enjoyed and wanted to keep, with the exception of The Miniaturist. I wasn't a huge fan of that story, but the cover is just so gorgeous. I couldn't bring myself to get rid of it. But I absolutely adore every single one of these books. So if you see any of these, then I am recommending them to you. I also have another bookmark container with a little pin on the outside that says keep calm and read on. And this last shelf are my hardcover fiction reads that I really enjoyed. With the exception of After You, I really did not like that one too much. I read Me Before You and enjoyed it at the time. Obviously, after I read it, I saw how problematic it was. But I had let my friend borrow Me Before You, and she had misplaced it, so she rebought me a copy, so I felt like I couldn't get rid of it, even though it's really not one of my favorite books anymore. And then After You, I didn't really enjoy it, but I was like, well, I'm already keeping Me Before You, I guess I'll keep After You until I really decide one day I can part with them and move on from them. But for now, they're here. But This Is Where I Leave You is one of my all-time favorite books. I just absolutely adore the humor and the craziness of that family in this book, and I'm really hoping to do a reread of it this year. So those were all the books on my shelves currently. I'm sure that they will change. I will read more and get more, and things will have to be rearranged, and I'll probably be doing another one of these videos next year after I've rearranged them for what seems like the millionth time. Anyway, let me know if you have any of these same books on your shelves, especially my unread ones. If you saw any that caught your eye and you want to do a buddy read, let me know. I hope you have a great week and happy reading.